Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back for another recording of Hearthstone. So, our quests still are to win 5 games with Rogue and Warrior and win 5 Tavern Brawls. So this whole recording session we've been doing Tavern Brawl, and we have one more to win, so let's hop into it. We don't need to play the Tavern Brawl for the 5th Rogue or Warrior victory, so we may switch things around after this victory is accomplished, if it is accomplished. I really shouldn't get ahead of myself.
Valera
So,
versus Thrall.
I am the type of person who likes to look for sales. My wallet probably does not thank me for that, but I am mostly pretty frugal too. I'll look at sales, think about whether I possibly could use that item, or not even possibly could use the item. It's more, was I planning before I saw the sale to, uh, let's try armor here.
Job's done.
Before I saw that sale, was I planning on buying something like that before I saw it on sale is a real good way to look at things. And so 99.99999% of the time I see sales and it's like, I don't even want this item. This is a sale for socks, or this is a sale for dresses, and I'm like, oh, I don't need either one of those. Uh, but
Greetings, friend.
I do all that setup just to say, I saw a sale on Lowe's for LED light bulbs that you can control wirelessly. And I think they're part of the Philips Hue line, maybe? Or maybe they aren't, and maybe I'm confused there. That would certainly be one thing you would want to know about, because the Philips Hue line of LED wirelessly controlled bulbs are overpriced. But they have some integrated abilities that other lines just don't work with. In fact, there was an interest in the sci-fi show 12 Monkeys. Had a thing where you could install an experience app where you'd sit in a room full of Philips Hue bulbs, and in different scenes one would assume they would slowly change the colors of the bulbs, because they're RGB LED bulbs that can change color, and set the backlight, which is probably an incredibly dumb thought. We haven't ever seen that in movie theaters. You don't go in a movie theater and the back area, the backlighting is set a certain way. But it's kind of an interesting thought too.
Here we go.
Dumb and interesting. I have some sort of wirelessly controlled LEDs in my house right now, but they're not wireless in the Wi-Fi sense. They're wireless in the infrared remote control sense. So you have to point a remote at them, and you have to be really close to them for it to be able to see the remote signal. And when all is said and done and that works together, they're not as nice as you would have hoped them to be.
Here
Let's go
we
take this
go.
guy out.
Job's done.
So a more controlled system might be nice, but this is a really dumb point to make for such a long story. I must admit, but I just don't think the remote control system should be in the bulbs. Like, imagine if your brakes in your car were built into the wheels. Well, they are built into the wheels, but they're not. When you pop a tire, you don't also have to change your brakes, is what I mean by that.
and plunder.
And that's kind of the same feeling I have with the wireless LED bulbs. I don't think
Here we
that
go.
in the bulbs themselves, when those things burn out, because the technology is still not there, and even though they say they'll last for 30 years, it's not particularly true. They'll last long, but there's a higher rate of failure in them, and they're more expensive, and they're not as bright as some traditional bulbs. And now they're starting to get rid of compact fluorescence, so you're losing even a slightly brighter bulbs there too. This is how we create the horrible future where everything is neon lights and darkness, like Blade Runner, as we just outlaw all the bulbs that can actually produce enough light
Blood and plunder.
to stop it. Something. Let's see. What do I want to do here? After you cast a spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy on this one. 2.
Die, landlubber.
So yeah, that's definitely a issue. I do think wireless control is cool, and I have wireless control in everything, almost. I have it in every ceiling fan and light combo. So like a ceiling fan with a light in it. I have remotes on that. And the way I installed those, since I use the same brand for everyone in my house, it's slightly a pain because they have a small tendency to overlap the frequencies. I would say
Here
get
we
at
go.
most 3 of the same brand, or make sure you can change the frequencies to multiple different frequencies, which might mean you need to go get a ceiling fan remote kit from Lowe's, and then a couple more for Home Depot, and then maybe even find a couple more online. But that's in the fixture. So in theory, if the entire ceiling fan unit was broken, the remote kits would still work. And if the bulbs in my ceiling fans burned out, those would definitely still work. I'm gonna go ahead and take this.
The pirates.
Here we go.
Job's done.
And then I've thought about like the Z-Wave and the home thing. Part of the problem with it is there's just too much there, and it's kind of pointless. This home of the future thought. Like, I don't drink coffee, so if we go through my day here, I don't drink coffee, so I don't want a coffee machine coming on. There's no toaster that has a refrigerator in it, so a toaster can't start toasting anything unless you left the food in there the night before, and then that would be a little gross.
Here we go.
Let's just go ahead and take these guys off.
Job's done.
My refrigerator doesn't need to do anything at any specific time. My thermostat, in theory, because I have a Nest thermostat, would go into an away mode if I was ever away, if there was nobody ever in my house. But for my lifestyle, that's just not the case. There's always something. Or on a rarest of rare occasions, I can turn it off for a couple hours and that's it.
Here
It's
we
not
go.
worth the effort, really. The Nest thermostat, in theory, also saves me a bunch by being more efficient, but that's hard to prove. I don't have the Nest smoke detectors because they're not very good anymore. I don't have whole home smoke detectors because I really don't want all the smoke detectors in my house going off every time I overboil water and create too much steam. That's
Here we
kind of
go.
weird for me in itself, because my last house, I did wire the whole house with whole home smoke detectors, and it was a tiny house too, so there was really no reason to it. I was obviously not thinking straight, but I mean, it was just like, yeah, why not? Let's do that. And it was a big project, and it was a mess, and it was not worth the effort at all. Oh, I would never do that again.
Here we go.
It would maybe make sense for a giant house to have the smoke detectors connected. If you are going up and down stairs to get to your kitchen, if you're so far away that you couldn't hear or smell or see
Pay
smoke.
attention, class.
On that thought though, looking around my room right now, if I did smell smoke and there was fire in the hallway, I don't know if I could jump out the windows. I probably would learn real quick though, if I was to guess.
Here we go.
But the only home wiring systems that I can think of that might be worth it. You might want to do a surround sound system if you're big into watching movies and TV. You might want to wire your house for the speakers that way. But honestly, I have yet to find a great way to do a surround sound system that doesn't end up putting a bunch of holes in your room and looking pretty bad. The classiest thing I've seen I've been able to do is to buy bookshelves and have bookshelf speakers on top of them and then run the wires on the ground, just using around the trim. And not trying to really even hide it or anything, just having the wires around. Maybe you could hide the wires under the trim, or if there was a carpet you could squeeze them in the edge of the trim, but that's about all I think you can do.
Here we go.
I don't know if I'm gonna win this one. In fact, I probably am not at this rate. And so yeah, I think as far as surround sound systems, your best option is to do a temporary surround sound setup, because when you sell the house or move or whatever, there's a decent chance that the next people aren't going to be that interested in a surround sound system, so they don't want those holes, and they're not going to want the speakers, and they're not going to want any of that stuff. So it's not like an oven or refrigerator that you could potentially, oh, I think I made a mistake there.
Here we go.
That you could potentially add to the value of your house and raise the asking price up. But I would say potentially security cameras. That is one of the best things you could probably wire your house for. Not a security system per se, because the police won't ever come in time anyways, but a camera system to collect evidence of the people so that they might actually find who robbed your house if your house gets robbed. Now, if you can't really do camera systems, I would always say have the signs at the very least in the front saying this house is protected by some home security thing. You can put a really loud alarm in your house that would go off if somebody broke in, but frankly, by the time somebody's kicked down the door, as long as you're not leaving your house unlocked or something, by the time somebody has kicked down the door and gotten in, they're not leaving because of an alarm. They may move faster, they may steal one less item than what they would have otherwise, but you're still going to be robbed. And so security systems are pretty much work like this.
Here we go.
if you must have one, install one yourself. You will get if you shop around and look, you'll get a better, newer equipment by buying it yourself than going through these companies that are just scam companies, where they'll say, we've given you a $3,000 home security system, and you'll go look and you're like, that equipment retails, not what you paid for it because you got it in bulk. It retails for less than $200. And then they'll try and get you in these long-term contracts. And pretty much anything that wants you in a long-term contract is a scam, and that you're going to have a nightmare experience with it. But you only have to look at your cable and your cell phone bills for that to be true. They get you in long-term contracts and then give you terrible service. We're in this weird quagmire here where the game is still not over, but I should have lost it a long time ago. This is a great example of just like what you don't want in a Hearthstone game. You don't want to just sit here and constantly have this issue of it going on forever, even though you've lost. So yeah, camera systems, you might get one of those fancy doorbells that can take pictures of people and tell you who's knocking on your door. I have a lot of problem with people knocking on my door. Probably because I'm home all the time is half of it. But I am... but it's annoying, I will say that. Let's go ahead and what do we want to do?
Here we go.
I guess we'll just attack this and then play this. And that kills everybody except for him. He only has 5 cards, so in theory if I can take his remaining 5 cards out of the picture, he would be out of things he could do. But I only have 5 cards too, so...
Thank you.
Here we go.
If we kill that guy, that should be fine. Oh, I am slightly regretting this creaky recliner I'm sitting in. I don't know if people hear that or not. When I lean forward, it gets all creaky.
I am Rafa, the supreme archaeologist.
Alright.
Careful.
Here we go.
But also the recliner has a tendency to rock because it's a rocking recliner. So if I'm sitting and just not keeping my feet on the ground, which it's kind of reclined backwards so that I can't, or my back particularly wants to be more reclined back to see the TV. So either way it ends up with me being very much just my feet off the ground, rocking back and forth. Which is not something I particularly want either. Alright, so if I take out these 3 and he runs out of 1 more card, we're pretty set here.
I'm almost out of cards.
Yeah, we know. Here we go. He has one more card.
Here we go.
I'm out of cards.
So now we're gonna actually get down to a fatigue battle.
The elements will destroy you.
I think he's about to surrender. So what's strange here is I have only one card remaining, yet it says I have two, but that's because we took out Elias Starseeker, so it will be Shady Dealer.
What to do?
He's lost. His only hope is that fatigue will take me down faster than I can knock him down, which shouldn't be the case. Unless this last card can do something.
I wonder.
What's funny is mummy zombies filling up this board with all the actions. Look, he's about to lose, and
I'm
he's
out of cards.
sitting here taking his sweet time because of it. I mean, he has a decent chance
Here
even
we
here.
go.
There's a decent chance that I will take more damage before he does. Because we're talking 42 right now versus 23 right there. So every single one is going to be slightly important.
Here we go.
So now it's 24 to 23, so I've probably won at this point. What is this one card? Why can't he not play it? He has 10 mana. He has a room. How could he not be able to play this one card? Is he just a bot? And he's always programmed to have this one. I know I claim so many people. Oh yeah, he's waiting for that new fate. This will be interesting. Because the new fate may save him.
Here we go.
If he does a new fate and he is able to change something, this will be interesting. It's taken way too long to get to this point, but it wouldn't be terrible if Hearthstone always had like something where you got below 10 health, and that 10 health changed the game in a drastic way. But if you did have something like that, it's
Is no place for mortals!
you would definitely have to deal with that in a strange way.
Here we go.
Here we go. I could in theory take him out too. Try to take everybody out, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so that's our 5th Tavern Brawl victory done. Which means we don't need to play any more Tavern Brawls. Which is good news. Let's spice this up and play as the warrior. Play as the warrior. Oh yes, and I think I played some stuff off screen to get ranked up to 21. I don't know if I was doing that off screen or on screen. Or was I playing it on my cell phone? Yeah, I played on my cell phone. I was so bored one day and for one reason or another,
Garrosh
couldn't
versus
be recording.
Malfurion.
I'm waiting for a lot of packages to arrive right now.
Victory or death!
I mean, right now, even as I'm recording, I'm supposed to be waiting for packages to arrive, but I can't sit around for 12 hours when people tell me, oh, it's going to show up this day. Well, that doesn't mean between 10 in the morning and 5 in the evening I'm going to sit around and do nothing. Of course, if somebody knocked on my door right now, I wouldn't answer it for another 25 minutes. Or I may answer it, actually. I may just mute my mic and leave the video set there. I could edit things out. I mean, I would hate to actually have to do it because that's not what I want to do with my life. But speaking of editing, I was looking at Amazon Prime and all the things that they have new, and there's like a 6-hour mini series for using Adobe Premiere, which is not actually editing, it's effects creations software. But I was like, yeah, you probably need 6 hours just to learn the basics in Adobe Premiere, because I tried to teach myself some of it, and I know the basic concept of how Adobe Premiere is supposed to work, but I don't really understand any of it. Not to a satisfactory level. Effectively, there's... Well, let me see if I can even explain Adobe Premiere. You have video in the file. You take one frame, and that's keyframe 1, and then you take a second frame, and that's keyframe 2, and you will have any number of frames in between that you want to make the morph so that they match. So you may say you want this box to go from this point to this point, and you'll do that by saying keyframe 1 it's here, keyframe 2 it's here, and do that in like 30 frames, and then through an incredibly long process, the longest of long processes. This is why people still need supercomputers and big old arrays of supercomputers type processes. It will render out one frame, then the next frame, then the next frame, doing very, very complicated math. And kinda at its basics, that's what Premiere is. But there are different ways. Instead of just moving a box, you might say, I want this to fade in and fade out, and I want this to sparkle and everything. It's not the animation, though. You really don't, in Premiere, draw the box. The box is usually already there. It's just effects on it.
No problem.
And job done. If I was to venture a guess, when you're talking what the effects you see in movies and TV, those effects probably are special plugins that you have to pay ridiculous amounts, hundreds if not thousands of dollars for those plugins for Premiere to do that. And then on top of that, a lot of it's probably custom programmed too. Let's see, how do I wanna... What won't kill me?
What now?
Stop moving!
I guess that won't kill me. What would kill me?
No problem.
Let's just kill that guy. Play.
Someone say bomb!
Alright, end the turn there. So yeah, Adobe Premiere is really crazy. Really, really, really crazy. And honestly, I would say it's probably not very well programmed. There's just not a lot of people that use it. It's not like Photoshop where there's so many different fields that use it. It's pretty much video effects for movies and TV, and that's it. It's not something you would see most YouTubers use. I wish like YouTube's back-end video editor had even a third as many potential possibilities as Premiere does. Yeah. Wow, I'm gonna win quickly here. Well, I am playing against someone who's ranked 20, so not a big surprise that I might win. So what was I talking about before I got on the tangent of looking through Amazon's thing? I will say Hulu and Amazon still not really that interesting compared to Netflix, and Netflix doesn't really interest me that much either. So, pretty much nothing interests me. Life is boring. I just don't have the patience to sit through movies or TVs series. That's the issue. I did find out that 3 of my favorite British comedies were all written by the same person. The guy who made the IT Crowd were either written or directed by the same person. He also did Black Books, which is pretty funny, and a third one that I liked, at least. I don't remember what it was. No. Oh look, I did lose. Good. I'm glad for that loss because that would have been a little early. Let's try that again. It certainly says something about my deck and my skill when I can't even beat a rank 20 person. I mean, you can't chalk all of that up to, well, the people who make it to rank 1 play non-stop every day, all day. There aren't that many people playing Hearthstone non-stop every day, all day.
Watch your back.
Victory
And frankly,
or
if there
death.
are that many playing, then this has turned into like a MOBA, and I need to just check out as far as my care about Hearthstone, which I probably should just check out as far as my care about Hearthstone anyways. I scheduled some Hearthstones, so I believe I'm up into the 400 episodes now. So this should be an episode about 400, which means we'll quickly, by the end of this year, probably be into the 600s, which is no real surprise, and eventually we'll go over 1,000, and I would bet even when I hit 1,000 that I still won't have any new thumbnails for it at that point. I got thumbnails up to 1,000, and then that was as many as I think I got made for me. I didn't make them. But honestly, by the end of 2017, I would have definitely hoped to have redone my logo and all that anyways. I want to go to a more lighter theme. The dark theme doesn't suit me as much as I may have thought originally.
Wanna blow something up?
The dark theme kind of made sense when we were doing the Binding of Isaac Rebirth and all of that, but more as we go upon it, as we cover more and more games, I'm a little bit less offensive than I thought I was. I mostly stay away from cussing. I mostly stay away from silly, crazy conversations nowadays. I may have matured in my old age or just matured in my channel coverage, I don't know.
Ready to flee!
Job's done.
I do think back of if the me of many years ago in high school or junior high or elementary saw me today, he would probably hate me and think I was a total loser. So people change, and that's fine, and that's good even, but I'm certainly not what they were expecting or planning on, or what I was expecting to be. Even a few years ago. I mean, it can't get any more sudden than me deciding to make this channel, really. It just a random thought, and I was like, okay, let's try it, and I liked it, so I kept on doing it. Now if it was only successful, it's getting to be successful somewhat, by the smallest of measures. It's becoming successful. I get about $1 in ad revenue every 7 days now, which, if that stays consistent, would be $52 a year, which is ridiculously low. But I am almost over 80,000 views, which is nothing to shake a stick at. Now, almost 40,000 of those are for the Hearthstone deck video, how-to videos. So if I really just wanted views, I know right immediately what to do. I should just do more how-to videos of things, which I would do if I ran into any software where I had to teach myself how to set something up. But I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in turning my YouTube channel that I started and that I get to run and get to make all the decisions on. I'm not interested in taking that one decision away from me and deciding to do how-to videos because the one how-to I've done has gotten the most views. What I'm hoping instead, as an alternative, is that we will find more people will find my videos through whatever means and watch them, and then go back and watch my old videos, and then all the work I've done up to this point and all the work I'll probably do in 2016 will become just sets of videos that get a little bit of views every now and then. And are you really he's gonna beat me? Wow. Well, what do I want to do? Do I want to stay with Warrior, or do I want to play Rogue and guarantee a victory? Let's play as Rogue and hopefully guarantee a victory. This should be our last game. In fact, it may just be our last game. Anyway. If I get 60 more, then that's 81 packs I can open when the new expansion comes out. I haven't checked to make sure that we can still buy everything this recording session, but I haven't heard of anything changing.
Watch your back.
But I know it will change pretty soon. With the next expansion and all that, I'm hoping to do a ridiculous amount of videos extra. So hopefully I can pull that off and get a bunch more views and hopefully bring in more people. The average duration of how long people watch my series is still very short at like 3 minutes on average. I don't know what particularly happens at the 3-minute mark or what, and honestly probably nothing happens at the 3-minute mark if we're just gonna be factual. It's just that people come to my video, they immediately click somewhere else, and then people watch all of my videos, and then the number of people that watch all of my videos is so much smaller than the people that come and just immediately repeatedly leave, that's not helpful. Maybe that's the next step for YouTube.
Shields up.
Maybe YouTube should start trying to catch people's attention by taking the most interesting 15 seconds of a video, just fade into that, fade it out, and just say watch more of this video. But if they do something like that, people would definitely manipulate it and try to put the ones that look like there's a big boobed girl in as the thumbnail.
Want a deal?
How do we want to do this? I'd want to get rid of this, but I can't just get rid of this. I'll have to get rid of this. That just destroy this one.
So many options.
So that one needs to be destroyed anyways. So let's do this, and then this, and then return. Yeah, I don't know what YouTube can really do to promote my videos more, other than just making them straight up ads and paying the money to advertise my channel, which is not realistic and not gonna help. They could get rid of bad and fake accounts. They could put bots or just promote my one video unfairly. My videos unfairly to everyone else. I've heard from a guy where some of the early famous YouTube people got away with
It's a deal.
hiring bots to watch their videos, and that eventually got them so many views that they got real viewers and they became popular that way, and they never got caught. I imagine at this point you can't pull that off. It is definitely a weird situation where this guy's gonna just do 2 damage to everybody. I shouldn't have played him. That was a mistake. Alright.
It's a deal.
Total mistake to play that guy.
Scurvy dog.
Here we go.
I don't think I'm gonna lose because of it. Maybe I won't. So, I don't know. All I can do is beg, really. Get more people to watch my videos. Start that everything playlist on your computer and just sit down and watch it through all of that. You don't have to be paying 100% attention, just pay somewhat attention, make sure it's playing.
Here we go.
I mean, the sad truth is, if somebody wants to support me, they need to just constantly be playing the everything playlist. Just watching it over and over and over again. That's all they can do to support me, short of actually donating money, which nobody has done. I'm not really surprised. Having only like 50 subscribers and less than 100,000 views. Now the question about the 100,000 views is an interesting one, because I'm not certain.
Here we go.
I'm not certain that at 100,000 views for my entire channel, is that where you get the first plaque that YouTube will send to you? And do they charge money for that? Unless they charge like a ridiculous amount, I'd probably take it. for the very least, it would give legitimacy to my job. So I could say, I've got this plaque, look, YouTube sent this to me. I've really got that many views.
What you got there?
But I'm not sure if it's
Here we
100,000
go.
views on one video, or if it's 100,000 views on your channel. If it's 100,000 views on one video, well then we just pretty much wait until the Hearthstone deck tracker video gets pumped up higher. It's at like 40,000 right now, so in another year, probably, it would get to 100,000.
My shield for Argus!
I would much rather get ad revenue than views, but you get ad revenue through views, so there's no way around that.
Feed the fish,
I've lost.
lover.
Well, I'm gonna lose here, so there's like not a lot I can do. I will get this last victory off screen. I don't see a reason to go into a fourth recording. I'm mostly just rambling anyways. Nothing else new is happening on the channel. So we're slowly gaining success as far as I can tell. I'll let you know when it all falls apart and I get no views for an entire week. But until then, everything's going good. I wish it was going good enough that I could start saving for those bad times that are inevitably going to come. But I can't. So I'm gonna finish this off screen, get 60. We'll be at 8100. We can still buy Goblins vs. Gnomes. We can still buy Grand Tournament. Well, they're not getting rid of Grand Tournament. We can still buy Nyx Ramus. And we can still buy these guys if you were silly enough to actually spend $10 on those. I imagine what's going to happen, or at least there's a decent chance they won't announce anything and those will just disappear one day. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. I hope that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.